Good afternoon. This would be art battle day 2, so unfortunately I lost the video. And lovely Nikki has accommodated me today, so we'll be covering the same stuff that we did the first interview, but I want to go a little bit more in depth today about some of her more personal portraits, things she's been commissioned to do, and a little bit more why she's here. But yeah, we'll still cover the same things, just waiting for her to join us. But yeah, I'm really excited. She's absolutely phenomenal portrait artist. Hi. I think, yes, we're going to talk about just more of why Nikki's here, what she's doing, and obviously I'm just a massive fangirl at the minute because one of her pieces, Empires, really, it's touched me quite deeply. So, oh, you can't wait. Me too. I'm so excited. I love talking with Nikki. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it today, and this one will be saved and put up on the YouTube channel, I think this Sunday, so that's really cool. Yeah, just really excited to delve more into what this amazing woman can do. So yeah, just waiting for her to hop on and we'll get cracking. But yeah, she's so lovely and I'm really excited to delve deeper today. It's going to be great fun. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, don't know what else to tell you guys really, just having a little wait on the lovely lady. Hello, Shan. So yeah, so predominantly, yeah, I would say that Nikki deals with portraits and stuff, but I'm very excited to see how her style's emerging and things like that. It was a really great chat the first time around. I really enjoyed it. So selfishly, I'm really excited because I get to do it again. So yeah. And here the lovely lady is. No, I can never get it. I'm just going to stop trying. Hello, lovely.
Hello.
Hi.
How are
Okay.
you?
I'm very good. I'm so blessed you've come back for us. So I broke it down for everyone how I made a little error, but you've indulged me to come back. So yeah, if we start off with a wonderful introduction to the wonderful Niki Tong, and we'll crack on. We have a little bit more to talk about today, I think, so I'm excited.
Sorry?
Oh no, I was saying we'll start with an introduction
Again.
and then we'll crack on, but I'm very excited.
Oh, I'm excited too. Thanks for having me again.
You're so welcome. Anytime.
So, hi everyone. I'm Niki, and I'm currently based in London, and I'm a portrait artist. Yes.
Awesome.
And actually, I'm from Hong Kong, and I moved to London a year ago, and then start doing art in here.
Awesome. So, I mean, we have the same kind of structure as before, but while we're talking about sort of where you're from, the portrait of your flatmate, Ram, in going back through it, I was really drawn to it yesterday and today for some reason. And then when I read the words that you'd accompanied with the portrait, I thought that was really, I know how you feel to find other people that haven't lived in London their whole lives. To build friendships in London is quite tough, and to find those great people. So how has that relationship and that portrait sort of developed your friendship, and like how is that for you, finding that?
I would say so. Here I moved in after 6 months. I moved into the house, and then we spent a lot of times together in the house. Like we did like a lot of silly things together. And there was one day she was like cutting fruit, and I was like, oh, let me take a photo of you, just like show everybody the daily life of being in London. And then so I took a photo of her, and then I painted her like on 2 days after. So because I just wanted to tell people like my life in London, like as as I'm new in London, I just want to show people how do I live like that, like because like sometimes because I'm coming here by myself and I'm on my own, and then
Yeah.
sometimes it's good like to have a connection that like can be really close to you, and then like you guys can talk everything together and then spend time together. And then sometimes when I'm feeling sad and not like feeling stressed, and I'll have a person that in the house that I can share with. So which is
Yeah.
I find it very amazing that how you connect with the people in the new places. And also like she's not really from my area, like she's not like from where am I from, but then we can build up the connection together. So that's why the painting that I did like for her like a few months ago, that's what I want to point out about this thing, this amazing connection we have together.
No, I mean, because it surprised me that it didn't stand out to me the first time but I think I just found you and Empire and I was a bit like, oh, super overwhelmed. But I just loved being able to look a little bit deeper now because obviously we've had this great chat already. But it was really, because I know as well living in London, I'm very lucky that the last 8 years my sister's been here. But before that, it was 8 years of trying to find those people because housemates can either be absolutely or trash. Like there's no sort of in between.
So true.
So to find those
So
people and to connect with them, I thought I love that you shared that, and I just wanted a bit more information because I really appreciate those people in my surrounding in my life, and I thought the way you tributed that portrait to her it was such I love that portrait. I really think it's very beautiful.
Thank you. She's
And
here now.
but that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we can now talk about maybe a bit of inspiration and introduction, how did you get into painting, and then sort of what's your main inspiration in your field or for
So
you?
I started doing painting when I was 13, and I was doing like as a hobby, you know, like I was doing painting class after school. It's like an extra activity after school. And I just remember that time I was like doing once in a week. And then later on, like I start to do art as my A level in my high school. That's how I draw into it. But then later on, like I heard from my parents, my mom always said like, you know, because I was born in Hong Kong, and then we have like a lot of building, and then we have a lot of learning center, and a lot of learning center they will post the student artwork like in front of the window. And I heard from my mom saying that like I always stay there for so long just looking at the other people's artwork in front of the center. It's a bit creepy, but that's what my mom told me. So I think I was very interested in painting and doing art when I was a kid. But then I started to do a lot when I was in high school for my A-level art. And then after in university, I didn't really study art. I was studying business degree. So then, but that period of time when I was in high school doing art, it was amazing. That it is so amazing that to, you know, hold on the brush and then just paint. And when every other student was complaining how terrible their subject is, how struggling they are, but I was like, oh, I'm living a life. Like, I just do art for my A-level subjects. Yeah. And then later on, like, because I study business, so I just do art as a hobby and just go to the studio once or twice in a month to do like some painting. And meanwhile, I was doing some art competition outside. And at that time, I was like feeling a bit sad that not choosing art as a major, and instead of like choosing business. And then, but then I'm very happy that because I didn't choose in the beginning, and then since I studied business, that it makes me feel like how much I love art.
Yeah.
So then after I graduated, I was thinking like, oh, maybe I can do something with art. And but when I graduated, I was working at the airport. Like I was working related to hospitality. It's kind of related to what I studied. And I just feel like, even I'm working in society, I don't feel like I really want to do this kind of job. So then later I changed to be an art teacher for a while, and then it just changed my life, I guess, because the experience that I have in the studio is amazing. Like, especially because I don't have an art degree and art background. Basically, you know, I wasn't graduate in an art school, so it would be very nice. Like that time, I still remember when I was working in the studio with the other colleague, my former colleague, and then they like study design. They already work in design like for 10 years, you know, and then it's just so amazing when you work with them, and then they just keep giving you a lot of like creative idea that I never experienced before. So then it just made me feel so determined to do this in the rest of my life, kind of. But that's why I wasn't still not sure, because you know, like when you tell people that you want to do art, especially to my Asian parents, they just like give you that like look, and then it's like, are you sure you're gonna begging on the streets? Like, you sure? How are you going to earn money for that? So I was like hesitate for a while, but then yeah, a year ago I decided to move here. I just wanted to do something with art, and that's why here I am right now. And I'm very happy that I made that decision, though. Like, I think it's the best decision in my life.
It is, yeah. I mean, London for me was also one of my best experiences. I find inspiration here every day. I think the different cultures, the way that nobody looks the same. It's great. I love everyone being smashed into sort of one area. I think it's fantastic. And I think what was great, and I always love about your story, is that you've had the business degree and kind of sort of not fought against your artist, but like you've done real steps not to be an artist. Like you've studied business, and it's such a different culture to an artistic culture. And like I love how you've like you had to get to art, you know, like you were really sad and then you like made this amazing decision. I think it's so important that people pay attention, you know, when they really love something and they've maybe gone towards something else. It's totally okay to like be, no, I really love that thing, I'm okay to go back. So, no, it's awesome to see, and how incredibly talented you are in discovering your style, and we'll talk a bit more around that. But it's really quite inspiring to see someone who's really tried something else and then they've come back, because I've also done that in my life. But I think people get obsessed, like you have to just know what you're going to do forever. But it's like, no, you can go try. Maybe you know, you have to come back to it because like for you it makes you really happy, you know, the studio and passing knowledge around. Like I can see even when you talk about it, you smile so much bigger, and like you're really like, Niki.
Yeah.
And so if we just talk maybe first about your proudest moment so far, because we have a long career ahead of us, but so far your proudest moment of your art career, and then
I would say, so when I first moved to here, that time I was like searching for a job, and then what made me more determined to be in, like, actually I want to be an art teacher a lot. Like, I mean, I don't mind to be an artist as well, but I like to be an art teacher. And then I took a job as a freelance art teacher in a nursery school. It's in between nursery school and primary school.
Yeah.
And then I think I was so excited to be in there and teaching the kid in London for my first time. And I would say that this experience does make me proud, because I feel like in the lesson that my students really enjoy being in the class with me. And then eventually in the end of the day that they will come to me and hug me saying that, oh, Miss Niki, I'm gonna miss you, because it's just only like the class is only just for 4 days in a row.
Oh, okay.
And even like they sometimes does make me feel angry in the lesson. But then in the end of the day, when you see them come and hug you and saying, and I told them, oh, it's gonna be my last day to be here, and maybe I will see you later. And they'll be, oh. And I just feel like what made me proud is like I really did something that I make people happy, and then I also like make an impact on the people's lives. That's what I feel proud of.
Yeah.
And then the second thing that what I did, I think it's in last year that I did a massive wall painting.
Yes,
And
we
then,
love the wall.
yeah, I know you saw it. And it was like for a Vietnamese restaurant back in Hong Kong. It was like so huge, but then I think it changed me quite a lot because, you know, like I wasn't really confident about my artwork at the very beginning when I first started because I'm not really professionally trained. Like normally I did it on my spare time, and then like I wasn't proper like trained in the school, so then I wasn't really confident. And then when my friend asked me to help her to do this work, and I was like so worried that I won't be able to do it because it was massive. It's like 5 meters times 4 meters that big, the wall.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
And then I was like, when I saw the picture, I started like panic, and I spent like 2 days to consider if I'm going to take the job or not. And then later on, like I just told myself, like, oh no, I have to take that because I can't be like scared all the time and worry all the time.
Yeah, so I'm just showing everyone that's the wall. And there's Niki, so you have an idea of scale as to how big this wall is, and it's
quite big.
super cool.
And then, yeah, and then I still took it eventually. I'm very glad that I took it. Took the job, and then I managed to do that, and I just feel like a bit more confident than before once I finished the painting. Because like when I was doing the painting, and then just, you know, like the people passing by, and they would point at the painting, I was like, oh my god, like that. Especially the kid, they just yell like from 2 meters away, yell at the painting and point it. Yeah, I was like, and then I just look at them, like just smile. But that it actually means a lot to me, and then I just feel like a bit more confident after that job, and then it does change me quite a lot and make me feel very proud of.
Yeah, I think what I always love is if I ever don't feel very confident, I'll either take like a small child's compliment, like in the back of my mind, I'll be like, no, because kids really know the truth, you know, and it must be such an amazing sense to be connected with them, to be able to pass on that kind of passion that you already have for your art. I can imagine just actually having, even as an adult, a really great time in your art class. I can't lie, because you know you do have such a great energy about you, but the way that you light up when you talk about your art and your journey to it, I think you're having a really good time. Feels like, yes, there's frustration and all that, but I feel like, you know, when we all have those jobs that make us appreciate the next job we have, you know, it's like you really are grateful that you love art and you're able to dedicate all your time to it now. So it's awesome to think that all these little kids will have like a teacher Niki, you know, like you might be their first sort of memory of art, you know, you may inspire an entire legion of phenomenal artists. It's really cool that your passion can translate in such a beautiful way to little kids. It's really cool.
Yeah, I love that too. Like, I love to have those little interaction with them, because basically, if the people know me, I'm actually a kid as well. Maybe that's why my friends are like, oh, that's why I can get along with them really well. You know, just like singing Baby Shark together without no shame. I mean, me, just dancing together. But it was very happy to be with them, and I don't know, I just like them, and then I like their creative mind, like, which has also inspired me a lot. Like, people say that, oh yeah, you're a teacher, like you're supposed to teach them, but actually sometimes like the student will teach you something as well, and then they're a teacher to me as well, because I learned from them. And then,
I think that's very important. What you say is being humble enough to learn from your students as well, you know, because like you said, I think in the previous one, how you love how there is no fear when the kids sort of approach a drawing. They just use the colors they feel, and, you know, and that's quite inspiring, because like, even I get afraid of like, what colors am I going to use when I paint something? I'm like, oh, is this going to ruin it? Will they complement each other? And I have all this color theory in my background, and I'm like, but what do you want it to be? And I feel like the further you get away from like being that reactive like a kid, the harder it gets to actually even start something, because you're like, oh, there's too much now. And kids are like, yeah! What?
Yeah, they just
Yeah,
like, they don't care. They just like spread all the colors. Whatever
yeah,
colors available on the desk, they just like and
yeah,
do whatever they like. That's what I like. Because for me
yeah,
right now, even I paint, I have to think a lot, like
mm,
proportion of the faces, and then like the color combinations,
yeah.
and then but then for them, they just don't think. They just do whatever they like. I wish I could be like them.
Yeah, 100%. Some of my greatest, I can't remember them verbatim, but some of the best sayings I've ever heard is when people are like, don't stray from being a child when it comes to art. Because if you go to school, you're just going to have to pay to unlearn everything that you've learned. So I'm like, maybe I was clever not going to art school. taking all the silver lining I can, Niki. I'm taking it. And then, so if we come off the back of your proudest moment, if you can discuss maybe a moment in your art career that was kind of frightening or apprehensive for you, just a little bit more.
Frightening. I think it's because, okay, there was some point that because when you're an artist, you're by yourself. I think most scare me is like you don't know how does your artwork go. Because you will always be the one person to see how's your artwork like, and then you just stuck in, maybe you just like keep staying in your comfort zone that you don't know. So that sometimes I just feel like very frustrated, like, and whatever I paint, I always not feeling enough. Even my friend is saying that, oh, this awesome, like what you paint is amazing, but then like for me, I just like not feeling enough, and I don't know where to go sometimes. And then, so I think this it feels like very frustrating. And then, you know, like sometimes just lost. And then there's some moments that I just like be so grumpy about my art. Or just like, I don't want to do it anymore. And I throw my brush and then I just go to sleep. And then after 2 hours, I cannot sleep. And I just go back to paint again. I was like, I don't want to do it. And I was like, oh no, I cannot. I have to do it. But yeah, it's very, and also I feel like it's very difficult like to determine if the painting is finished or not. Because when you look at the painting, you always feel like there's a lot of things to adjust and then a lot of things to improve, if you can, like maybe. But then for me, I do. And they kind of like make me feel very annoying sometimes, like, and then at that moment you finish a painting and you just look at it, it's like, oh, that's great, this is the best painting I have. But then after like 2 minutes you'd be like, oh no, her nose is ugly, like her hair is messy, you know, like just like keep being picky on your painting. So I think this is the most frustrating part, I would say.
Cool. Yeah, because for me, when I was trying to attempt to do it on my own, it was very hard. You know, I didn't have a support structure, and I must say, having the kind of the Hanway Collective behind me, if I feel insecure, I'm able to give someone a call. And, you know, and I want to build a beautiful network for artists, you know. So in those moments, you know, you can phone each other and go for a drink or talk about something else to take your mind off it. But yeah, being alone it's so, but then there's also that flip side where you have to be alone with your art, you know, besides all the supportive phone calls and all that kind of stuff, you really have to be there alone. So yeah, because I mean, if we, like, when I first came across you and your artwork, the thing that stood out the most for me and that was so beautiful in the first instant was Empire for me, which is that beautiful piece in the background of Niki's there. And the beautiful thing is we discussed quite a bit about like being a portrait artist and finding your style. And now if I can just flip it around and show you guys a little bit what I mean. Where you see in the bottom here, it looks, oh, it's not focusing. Do you see all the little, like the little home and stuff? So it doesn't even look like the detail that you're doing yet until someone's completely like lost in it. And I'm like, wow. She's got like, because, you know, we talked about before having it to find your style, and how, since that last conversation, how has it been for you sort of reflecting on what we talked about with your style and the way you merge them, the very emotional brush strokes with your beautiful realism? How does that?
I'm still looking for my style at the moment, but I do, I think a lot from our previous conversation and what you told me, and then how our conversation is, and then and then for inspiration, like I mean, for looking for the style is always just paint more. Me, I would like. I still don't know where to go sometimes, but I would just say like sometimes the painting that I have is just the way that. No, I mean it just come along. I would say I didn't know that it means to be like that, but eventually it's like that. I don't know if it makes sense. It sounds like
Oh,
it's
I love
not,
it.
but it is like that way. So, but then I would say just trying to. For me, I was just trying to look like to pay more attention about my daily life and then my surroundings. So that's how I get my inspiration is. And also like I actually look a lot of artists online, like different artists, so that I could like use their artwork as my reference, and then to see like how my artwork should be improved, or like is there any possible way that I could try to do different kind of thing. So yeah.
That's awesome. And then how has this horrific pandemic that we're going through right now, how has that affected you in general and then you as an artist?
I don't know. I would say like actually didn't really affect that much for me, because it does at the very beginning, because like I do have an exhibition that supposed to be going on in April, but it was cancelled because of the current situation.
Yeah.
And then also art battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the competition the art competition has to be postponed. And then apart from that, I would say a little bit, because one of my friends asked me to do a portrait for her family, and also like her and her boyfriend. But then I was supposed to want to organize a trip to her place as well, so I can hand in the painting to her. But then because the situation that I couldn't fly to anywhere, that's sad.
So horrible.
Yeah. And then I think that's it. It doesn't really affect me that much, because I like to stay home and paint anyway. And so so I always be like, oh yeah, now is the perfect time for me to paint. And then the people was like, oh yeah, staying home is very boring. But then for me, I just don't feel anything. I just like, yeah, just keep on doing painting. And it didn't really affect my emotion that much. Maybe I already used to stay in.
Yeah, I think there's either people are really struggling, or I find people are having a really, really good time. Like, but the people that tend to be having a better time are people who have more interests. You know, like the people who work is sort of everything for them. They're really struggling because they don't develop anything outside of that culture for themselves. You know, they're like, I go to work, I'm this person at work. And when I'm coming home, I'm just relaxing. But it's like, you have to have more about you. You know, you need to have something that drives
you. Mean.
You just have to have something. And I think that's where I'm really enjoying it, where I struggled a lot in the beginning and I really miss people. I really want to hug someone.
Yeah.
Even in London, when they're so rude and they just barge past you, I'm like, oh, please barge past me again.
You know what do you miss taking the tube? Well, that's the thing that I don't think I would miss. Like,
I don't miss the underground, not one bit. I really am. If I can take a bus somewhere, I'd rather take a bus or a cab or the overground, because why do I want to stand like a sardine underneath a city? Like, ugh. And everyone on there is like, hello? Back up. Exactly. Back up a little here. It's a bit much.
That's what happened to me every morning.
Oh, no, isn't it horrible? It really... Everyone in there is angry that they've been like ripped out of their bed and taken from their families, and it's like this depressing march towards central London, and I'm like, oh no, I don't want to. So I'm glad I've never had to sort of do it prolonged in like the peak timing or whatever. That would suck, because no, it's not the one. But anyway, we're getting back to if we can maybe talk a little bit about Empire, because I know from going through your stuff and our chats that you have a lot of commissioned portraits and stuff like that. And Empire, you don't have too much written about it, but I'd love to know a bit more, like, who is the model? How did the whole concept come about for this particular piece?
So at the very beginning, when I first started, this piece is just actually, I did it when I first started, like, to do painting on my own. And I was just looking up online, like, to do some research about the portrait online. And I found, like, amazing women that have, like, super good, like, face feature, and it made me really want to draw her so much. And at that time, I really like to use acrylic pouring, you know, acrylic pouring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to use that with the resin, like the, you know, when it dries, become plastic, transparent.
Yes.
Resin, that material. So then that time I was just trying to make something different, and then I was seeing that her face is tend to be a bit darker, so I just like thinking maybe I can do like a big contrast of her face, so I decided to use gold, and then eventually it comes out like it looks like she's a queen or something, that kind of vibe.
She feels so powerful to me. I just love, I really got stuck on her again for a long time when I was going through your stuff. It's really beautiful, but I really do love, you've even got a couple more recent portraits towards the top of your Instagram where that sort of photorealism ability that you have comes through, but I really love how you kept that emotional brushstrokes in the background, because it's still, yeah, for me, that's a big connection when I look at your work anyway. I think it's phenomenal. Everything feels something for me, like you feel that moment or that love and respect. It's like, I really enjoy your portraits, I must say.
Thank you.
Very, very cool.
You know, like that time, except this piece, and I make also 2 more pieces. I think it's like the woman with a drowning face.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that series of artworks, actually, I want to like get more into about the issues that we have in the city, like in the urban life. Yeah, there's 2. Because I just feel like somehow I feel like humans are so greedy in a way. And then I think that time a lot of news coming out like about like how human destroyed the natural environment, how they destroy the, you know, the nature, that kind of thing, the pollution and that kind of thing. And then a lot of news coming up, so I just want to make a series of painting about that, like, you know, like it seems like humans feel like have a power to control that their surrounding, but eventually there's a consequence about what they have done.
Yeah.
If it makes sense.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's why the painting was about that. Like, it seems like they are very powerful, but actually there's something else is even more powerful than that. Yeah, that's the concept.
Oh, that's exciting.
Painting. Yeah, because I feel like I feel like looking at humans, like humans being like they do in charge a lot of things, but they eventually come up, for example, like how they destroy the nature just for our own good. But then eventually there are lots of consequence, which does affect us as well, and it do like affect our lives as well. So then I was just struggling, like, so is human powerful or like the nature is more powerful? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so anyway, that is the concept behind those series of painting. And I think I did quite a few of them.
No, that's really cool. But you do have they have a very powerful sense, but you can feel that, like, the feeling in nature, especially with the water over her face. It is like, it's nice how it feels outside. It feels like different elements that you can feel through them. So that's really cool. Ooh, it's so exciting, Niki. Sorry. Good. Yay. Cool. And now, is there anything in particular that you want to work on, or that you're working on at the moment? Sorry.
Currently, I I just posted on my Instagram. I was like offering a free portrait for the NHS key worker.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and I was so amazed because at the very beginning I was like struggling. I saw this portrait like a long time ago, so like months ago. And I saw it and I was like thinking, oh, it would be like quite awkward if nobody wants your portrait. Imagine like nobody wants it and you'll be waiting until everything is over and then nobody wants your portrait and I'll be like crying inside.
I'm only laughing because I know that you're being ridiculous. Everyone's going to want one, but it is funny. I know what you mean.
Like consider to post it or not because it's really, really awkward. Like until next year, and then your Instagram still have people like still see a posting that I'm offering a portrait and that everything is over. You know, that's so weird. But then I still decided to do it because sometimes I tend to worry too much.
Yes, definitely, because it's amazing, and they'd be lucky to have it. So, have you got a lot of good feedback about it?
Yeah, I'm so happy that once I post, there's actually a lot of people they asked me to do the portrait for them, and I feel so relieved. You know, it's like this portrait is supposed to help the key workers, right? But you know, it's somehow like stress me out as well.
That's so awesome though. But please give me have you had like, are you starting to do the painting now, or is it still something people can send in to you?
I can I'm going to start to do the portrait.
Oh wow.
Like,
okay, but let us know
because I just matched with a person which is a very lovely story that I heard from him. He's actually a friend of a nurse. Because like she has to work in the hospital and then her daughter cannot stay with her inside the same house. So then her daughter have to move to live in somewhere else, like maybe grandparents' houses. I don't really remember what he told me. But yeah, and I feel very touched and I just say, yes, I'm gonna do a portrait for the nurse and also her daughter so that yes.
That's
and
so
I think
awesome.
she'll be happy. Hopefully, when she gets
Guys, don't listen to Niki. I'll let you know. They'll be very, very happy. They'll be elated.
Thank you. I'm so glad. But that was the project that I'm going to do because currently I'm working in school and then next week I got like term break holidays.
Yeah.
So it's time to paint. And you know what? Recently I started like to do digital painting as well.
Cool.
Yes. And I got like amazing tablet from I'm not doing the promotion, just from some company, yes. And I got
until you're paying Niki, we're not saying your name, okay, guys?
If you want me to, you know what to do.
Exactly. No, digital stuff with the tablet's so much fun. Sorry, carry on.
So fun. It was so fun, and I just started to learn how to use Photoshop, and then use Photoshop to paint. It does bother me at the very beginning though, because normally I do painting like 2-3 hours. I can finish one painting, but then for that, using the software to paint, I have to use like 2-3 days, and I almost destroy the laptop. No, I'm joking, but then it does like bother me a lot because like it's very new for me.
Yeah.
And I have to like take a lot of time to, explore the function from the software. But then that's what I've been doing. And hopefully I can do some digital art as well. Like maybe try illustration and then, let's see what.
That's so cool. I mean, Shem, you make me laugh because my little sister is like an editing genius. She's gone through a director. She knows everything. So I've picked it up to do the Hanway one. I want to learn how to edit. So, and the other day when I deleted your video, I think I cried for about half an hour. I was devastated. And she's looking at me and she started laughing. And I was like, is this very nice? And she said, hold on a minute. I've deleted an entire hard drive in my life, yeah? So if you're just getting sad because you made one little mistake, I'm standing right here to teach you. You're not having to do it on your own. You don't have to throw your phone out the window. And I was like, you're right. I should just like humble myself because actually she went through all the pain that you're going through.
Yeah.
And now I just
amazing.
how do I do this? How do you do that? So I really respect what you're going through because I'm lucky to have her with all of her wisdom and knowledge. And
Oh,
they're like, teach me, please.
oh, so good. I have to look up
Um,
online, like the YouTube to teach me how to do that. Oh my
you
god,
know,
I have to say, like, Photoshop is so evil. Like, so evil. Like, to see how it changed on the people's face. You know, like, look
and
at
here
how
we
they, like,
sit trying to look like these women that are on these magazines. And I'm like, you can't. They are a computer generated image. Nobody can look
yeah,
like that. Not
yeah,
on
true.
their best day.
Yeah, not right now, the current situation.
It
But it's
is
so
sickening.
evil.
It's really bad.
Yeah, because like the other day I was trying to transfer a woman, like, have a lot of, what did it say? Like, pimple.
Freckles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Into smooth skin with, like, literally look like the model in the magazine. And it does
Yeah.
work. This is so scary, I mean,
It's
like, it looks good,
terrifying.
but it's so evil, these photoshops.
I
Like
mean,
every after.
there's even a friend of mine who found a filter and she's like, I might get a nose job because of this filter. And I'm like, please, 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 please don't. Please don't change your face. Please. Like, and this girl is beautiful. Niki,
Yeah.
like, stunning. And I just look at her
Yeah.
and I'm like, please don't. It's an
Yeah.
imaginary look. It's not real. Real
Yeah, it's
women
not.
don't look like that.
Well, if
It's,
I would say, like, Photoshop is pretty good to use if you consider to do the surgery. That you can try to edit it on the Photoshop to see how it look like. And
this is the problem with these filters. She's sitting there playing with filters and there's a nose job. I'm like, whoa, well, they got there very quickly. Calm down. You're okay.
do you even have like those like can enlarge your eyes?
I love that one. I think it's great. I laughed my ass off when I was like, and it gives you like 3 different options of length. I was like, wow, these people are not playing games. These women are
Yeah,
literally
it's real.
choosing these filters to talk to people. And I was like, wow. I don't mind to do like a play around with the selfie filters while I'm bored at home. But like,
Yes.
I wouldn't go on a phone call with like tiny cat ears and like, no, I just don't think so.
Imagine you're doing it. Can you send a video to me, please?
Can you imagine if you popped up this morning and I had like rabbit ears and a
You'll
carrot
be
that
like
flew at my mouth?
immediately shut the lights. I see you.
That's really not the one at all. Oh my God, not at all. But now we come to my absolute favorite part of the wonderful conversation
Yeah.
that we can elaborate on even further now. So, what is your dream with no money, no government laws, nothing? You can have what you want, Niki. What do you want? Dun, dun,
What I
dun.
want, it's very simple. I just want to have my own studio, and then I can invite people over to be in my studio to learn art, and chatting. I already have a picture in my mind, those like fancy
Yes.
studio have all the colors, placing, organized, and then those easel, like those
Yeah.
display, yeah, and then with canvas. And then playing those like really chill music, and then you just paint in there. That's what I want for the future. In the future.
But we are going to have to attach a tiny school onto that, Niki, because you have to teach all the kids. They deserve a teacher, Niki.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to attach a tiny schoolroom just to the corner of your studio, so they can still have their teacher, Niki. Because we'll be taking all the rest of your time. The kids will be like, Niki, we love you.
Hopefully, like 2 months after, I'll become crazy.
You'd be like, now I'm taking the room away from the studio. Bye, children.
It'll be like, Niki, no! It's just like when you sleep, you still can hear how they call you. Like,
Yeah, no.
They love
So
you.
my other sister is a teacher, and she taught really young kids about the similar age to you, and then she went to slightly older kids, and they didn't really need her. They didn't want to hug her. They didn't really care. They were kind of a weird 9 or 10.
What,
She
you
went
mean
straight back to the little kids. She was like, I need a cuddle, and I need people to be excited when they see me. And I was like, that's really funny. just because the kids didn't pay as much attention as the little kids. Oh, it's so funny. It's so cute, man.
Possibly me too.
But yeah, so, and your sort of dream, if we can talk a little bit more, like, what would be your most, like, where would you want to exhibit? Like, is there a dream exhibition or space that you've looked at before and thought, I really want to be here?
Actually, I really want to participate the TV program. It's called like Sky Portrait of the Year. It's like a competition with the other artists, and then you have to do it live, and it's a TV program, and then you have to paint live.
Yeah.
And then so in each round, like they have to select one person to go on the next round, and then they complete each other and until they find the winner. And I think they did the whole thing. They did the whole thing in National Portrait Gallery, I think, or somewhere. I don't remember. But it's like a TV program that I really want to participate. Maybe next year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, it will be. Yeah, it's like on TV, and then you'll be live painting a person for 3 hours. And then there's a judge there, like, to determine you will be win on that round or not.
Yeah.
I think it will be a very excited experience to have. I think, I
do you
want to join that?
Actually, that's quite funny because when we talk about Art Battle, which is how I got to come across you, do you feel like that's going to fundamentally help you a little bit? Because I know it's a very different kind of concept, but you got 20 minutes live painting. It might be a good exercise, leading up to you applying, because that's very cool.
Yeah, the very beginning, I find it very cool as well. They even have like DJ. And
wow!
I think in the competition they have a DJ there.
Oh yeah, Art Battle. Yeah, they've got the whole live thing.
Yeah, they have DJ, and then you only pay for like 20 minutes, and then the people have to vote. I was like, amazing! I want to do that.
I know and I always feel so bad for Alice because, like, I don't know if July is really a possibility even now, but I'm so here for it. I can't wait. I love that the audience decide, and I also love that we get a sneaky, and it's only 20 minutes. It's not really a process, but we get to watch your process develop, which I absolutely, and it's hard for me to be able to watch you because maybe a portrait takes 2 or 3 weeks. It's a lot different to kind of street art or that immediate kind of thing. So it's going to be really cool to see how all of you translate onto that 20 minutes time slot. That's going to be very cool.
Please let me know when it's going to happen because
I'm not sure. I don't even want to tell Alice anything about Art Battle at the moment because I don't want to break her heart. I don't want to keep asking and be like, I don't know. Because it's so terrible. Everyone is so looking forward to it. I had like 10 of my friends who are dying to go. So I was like, oh, Alice, you sold 10 tickets. We're on the way. And she was like, what? I was like, this is a really cool concept. Like, the more people that know about Art Battle, the better. Like, if I can help, I'll do it. But yeah, I really am excited to see the level that you're going to get to, because I really feel like even though you feel like an established artist, I still feel like we're really in the beginning of what you're capable of. So it's really exciting to see how it's going to evolve. We're here for it, Niki. We're here for it.
I'm very curious about like how people think about art, like about your artwork. Because like people does have different preference, so that's the most exciting part about the event.
Yeah,
like you think your artwork is amazing when you finish like after 20 minutes, but then no people vote for you. And I'm like, okay,
No, I think you definitely are very self-deprecating, but it's only in your mind. I think you'll be all right, love. I think you'll be just fine. It'll be like the NHS portrait. You're gonna think the worst. Amazing.
Oh, that was funny. I was so scared,
No, but that's like, it's a big thing because you're also sort of doing all you can to help, and you don't want it to sort of flop because you want to give it to someone. So I totally understand how you're feeling, like, today. So that's very, very cool. And yeah, I mean,
they message me, and I will try to do as much as possible, because for me, one painting doesn't really take long if it goes well. if it goes well.
Love
It
the
goes well.
disclaimer.
But then, yeah, if it goes well, it doesn't really take so long. So then hopefully I can do as many as possible, because basically I feel like it's an encouragement for them, and it's like a support for them than what they have been doing for us. So if I could like contribute a little bit more, then I would love to, because yes, this art for me is not just about money, you know, like taking commission, but it's about like how it connects with the people and how does it affect the other people's life, if I could. So that's, I'm actually very happy to do that, and I would say that it is totally my honor to do it.
Yeah, and please let me know when it's ready so we can also share it and show some support, because what you've done, and I think that's what's important, is do what you can. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not everyone is in a position to spend loads of money or donate masks. So, like, if you're an artist, you know, like you've done, offer out your artistic talent to say thank you, because it does cost your time and obviously, you know, all your knowledge and stuff. But it's a beautiful thing when you see human beings just caring. You know, obviously, it's nothing wrong making money from art and building a life and buying your home from your art. It's lovely. But it's great to also see how people at this time, especially artists, because I think we've all had moments where we've really struggled. So we're a little more connected to people who genuinely are in a struggle more often than not. So it's awesome to be able to see how you guys are passing that forward, which is really, really cool.
Yes, because like why I have this thought, because I already know this project, like I told you like months ago, and then but then I was struggling, right? I told you the reason just now, but then it's because like last week I did a portrait of a little girl that I met in IKEA. And then she was like, yeah, I was like buying stuff in IKEA, and I was so hungry and having lunch, and then she was just sitting next by me, and then she just kept waving at me, like and then with lots of food in her mouth, and I was just like, that's so cute. And then so like I asked her parents that if it's okay that I take a picture of her, so that I can paint her when I go back home. And then she said fine. She said really good. And then so I painted her. So ta-da! That's how she looked at me with a lot of food in her mouth. And then so I painted her, and I was like, oh, and then this is not a commission work. And then like I sent the photo to her parents, to her family, and I can feel like her parents is absolutely like really feeling very happy about that. And I just feel like, oh, and I sent a message to them. It's like, oh, I just want to share this painting to you, because like your daughter's smile really does light up people's life. Like really does make me happy. And then when they saw the message, and then they just feel so happy about that, and they're very happy to see the painting, and they asked me if I could post the painting to them.
Oh, that's cool.
And then and then I said like, oh, I'm doing that is not like I want money, but I just feel like now it's a very difficult time. Maybe I can do a little bit more, and I just try to like cheer people up. And then and I just find it like really amazing to do that. That's why I really want to do the free portrait project for NHS, and I really hope that like once they receive the painting, they can like be happy.
Oh no, that's so lovely, Niki.
If I could.
Really cute.
Yes.
She's wonderfully talented and so lovely, guys. How do you do it, Niki? How do you do it? Just natural.
You want to know, you can privately message me,
She can tell you how to be lovely and amazing and talented.
Because now I feel like it's very difficult. Like I have to say, like it's a difficult time, especially for some people out there. Because like they may not experience this before, which is I did, like because SARS in 2003 back in Hong Kong, so I kind of experienced, and it doesn't really affect me that much. But then probably for some people out there, they're really affecting them so much. And I do know some. So then just try to do whatever you can to help people, and then and then the world will be better if you do a little bit more.
Yes, it would. I was discussing with someone yesterday. I said, the problem is if we were all just lovely, the world would change overnight. But I looked at them and I said, but that means I have to be lovely to my enemy. Like, you have to be lovely to everybody or it doesn't work. And that's when he looked at me and went, yeah, it won't work. I said, exactly. My enemies right now, I'm just not that, I'm not that enlightened. One day I'll be grown up enough. But I'm like, nah, I don't care about my
I mean, like,
So I hope that the world gets a little bit lovelier after this, because we've all been alone. We've all been scared. We've all had thoughts that were really horrible. And, there's people we have to realize, like this disabled lady I know, she's wonderful, but she was saying to us how since she's been in a wheelchair, nobody visits her anyway, because people don't put themselves in her position of, like, they think, oh, she's at home all day, it's okay. But now that they're at home, I'm wondering, do you now understand that, people who can't get out, maybe we go to them, or you do more, virtually or whatever you can. But I hope we are lovelier at the end of this, because...
Yes, I know what you mean. I feel like if everybody can, it's an ideal situation, but if everybody can think about the other people a little bit more, then life would, the world will be better. Like, to be a bit more considerate. But anyway, it's your choice, so just do what you can do,
Yeah, exactly.
Do
And
what
there's
you make
Niki
you
saying,
happy.
exactly. So cool, yeah, we have a few 4 or 5 minutes left. So if you just want to tell everyone how they can contact you or get in touch for any pieces if they want to, and then we'll say goodbye.
Okay. Oh, that's sad. It's okay, I will see you
Exactly.
later,
Definitely.
I think. So how to contact me? Just message me on my Instagram, and also I have my email in my bio on Instagram. Just email me or like message me on Instagram. Or you have anything you want to ask me, you also very welcome to message me, because you know what? Oh, after last time, the conversation that I had with you, there's a couple of people like message me and asking me my advice, like how to be a full-time artist. But I told them that I'm actually not a full-time artist. I still have my full-time job on the other side. But I do want to say this in here because and then, okay, so I say, like, after the conversation with you, there's one person that messaged me, and then she's, like, studying uni, and then she told me that, oh, her parent doesn't want her to study art, but then she loves art. So then eventually she studies sociology that she's not really that interested in. And then I would say, like, this kind of question that you can also ask me as well, but I will only have one answer, is, like, do what you love to do. Yeah, but then if you guys have anything you want to ask me, I would be very welcome to answer you as well and have a lovely chat.
Well, I'm glad someone's reaching out, because it's even awesome to know that you do a full-time teaching job and you're able to deliver so much. Oh, Imran, thank you so much. She's saying she's loved the live.
Yeah, she's
We're loving your portrait today. But yeah, I think it's wonderful to see that when you go towards your love, it's not a chore. You're able to deliver such a massive quantity and body of work, where a lot of people would use that as an excuse. So I think it's great what you've shared. Thank you so much. And
thank you.
Basically, always a pleasure. Lovely Niki Tong, you are amazing. And all of her artwork is up on our Hanway Collective Instagram story for the day, and this will go onto YouTube on Sunday, but be an IGTV now forever. So yeah, but thank you again so much for this chat. You're amazing, and have a wonderful day, guys. Just enjoy it. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
No problem. Bye.